Good morning. Welcome back. All right, good. Good morning. So, where are we going to go this week? Well, as you know, big economic reports coming, options expiration. About a week ago, the thinking was, we're always thinking, um, things could move lower into the options expiration based on the prior week's reversal candle. Thinking, okay, prices can move down into the options expiration and things uh, hold at wherever they were going to hold, and we go back up again, or whatever it's going to do. Well, that didn't happen. Came down to major support. You can see that pretty much everywhere, most places, sectors. And there's this disgusting kind of grind up last week, up, down, up, down. And so the prices are holding up here, some backing off a little bit, no big deal, which would suggest they're going to make a run above the prior high. NASDAQ made a new all-time high last week, marginally, the Qs. But as we look around the broader markets, not really based on internals, but just looking at different sectors, they paint a different picture, which we've even gotten plenty of warnings. But hey, the mags are back, and Apple came roaring back last week after, well, it cost them 100 billion on top of the 500 billion, but buyers said, hey, coast is clear, and Apple ripped higher. So we're back to breadth that is terrible. You can see here. It's been grinding lower, still below zero, with a market either at new all-time highs or knocking on the door. Sentiment is neutral, so neutral everywhere. And we'll see. Can this thing continue to move up? Uh, Economic reports maybe get brushed off. It's all about the options expiration, and maybe we get the reversal of a low into options expiration and we get a high into options expiration. We'll find out this week. Anyway, got a pivot high up here, looking at the S&P futures, up, got rejected on this day, as you can see, came back up again, and we're just marking time here this morning. 65-minute consolidating up near the top of the range. That's positive. So we can just think that the same will continue to happen. Buy the dip into some support. If it's a deeper violation move, comes down to the next support. Look for buyers to show up there, and bar by bar, right? It's bar by bar, trend and bar by bar. That deep retracement was supportive of, hey, maybe you can go lower to the next support, and then the big trade wide bar up. Buyers just came in again, regardless of whatever the news is. Right? NQ futures on a closing basis, new high on Friday. So a lot of things turned up on Friday to varying degrees, and the trend is up. We'll see what the reaction is to this pivot high. So putting up a blow off run, on these economic reports and into options expiration, that's an assumption. It's not a prediction, but the trend is up. We got a red bar ignored on the weekly time frame, potent reversal on the weekly time frame. So it's reasonable to think it'll continue to move higher. We'll see what happens, right? Bias being buyers should show up on dips. Now, as we start to look around, it just doesn't look the same, right? There's the Dow, and certain Dow stocks like Caterpillar that were leading the way up had some profit taking last week that pulled in, but wide range bar, right? So we got these things that say, hey, warning, right? Things are not firing on all cylinders here. And we've seen them fire on all cylinders and still fall apart, right? That happened up over here. So kind of a schizo market. What do we have today? Well, we've got a bullish reversal, a consolidation at the top of the wide range bar. And we go back to the factory work, as the factory work being what dictates our bias. getting killed, Dan, I'm assuming because there's been a about Chat GBT version 5 being unimpressive. So, I mean, AI has been an underperformer consistently. So, based on this, I'm thinking, and I was thinking this on Friday, and it was kind of whippy, uh, you know, that this could play catch up. So YM here, it's got a void up above. See if buyers want to step up at these pivot lows. See if it can start moving up. We have the Russell. Similarly, so the weaker, as markets show strength and the stronger reach areas of resistance where sellers are going to be, it often is the case that laggards catch up, rotation. Now that there was an attempt to do that last week and it didn't happen, but now that it's got several bars here and it's still holding up, my thinking is if the markets, the S&Ps move up and the Qs move up, that these will move up with them. And this would be where the intraday trading opportunity would be, right? The underperformer beginning to outperform. Right? Gold broke out and it got rejected big time. So a big mess there. Stay away. Silver reversed back down, got a trading range. It's just, unless you like trading this intraday, better to stay away. It's in the middle of the range here. Down to major support. It broke the lows. A lot of times they break the lows. That's the concept we call a greater than 100% retracement reversal, where it breaks the lows and starts moving back up again. But this is as someone that's been doing this for a very long time and doing the same things, essentially going on decades now. It's interesting to me to see how those that come to the markets learn about concepts like the greater than 100% retracement, and they start to market it as something new, a new discovery. And so they call it I think when I've heard like liquidity hunts. So this is something we've seen happen forever and ever, but some new catchy term, right? Support areas, liquidity hunt. As something starts coming down, it takes out the stops and then turns back up again. And so it flushes out, and then you get a little reprieve kind of a rally against that move. When will transport start to behave? Well, like everything else, Robert, they start to behave when they start to behave. And that ain't right now. So, the transports, what would we look for? Reversing right back up again. This is one of the most convincing sell setups of all the things that we look at. Broke down, right? Other things broke down, or the stronger ones stopped at major support. This violated it. It looked like it was going to come down here. It retraces into these converging moving averages, gaps up, reverses, and that's a sell setup. Now, if it would have got, if when we look at sell setups, and we look at any pattern, the ideal scenario would have been to get a little bit higher, but sellers came in before the minor resistance. So you can look through the stocks within there. This should break the low. If things are going down, this should follow through lower. But if the markets are up, why bother aggressively in any manner on shorts? If things are going up, I'd rather find things like maybe the Dow futures or the Russell futures that could play some catch up and move up into some void versus something that looks like it could go down. So many times short setups just, they don't go down. the way you might think they would, or as rapidly as historically as they would, because overall the market has got a bullish bias on that particular day. But if you're willing to give it some wiggle room, there's nothing wrong with it, and just let it play out. Right now, that's one of the weakest um, of anything that we look at. Now, back up a little on that statement. When we look at regional banks, right, that couldn't even move up above these converging moving averages of the 50 and the 200. It couldn't get up to minor resistance. So it's just jiggling around here right now, but that's another one of those warning signs. That's, when we look at the breadth and deteriorating, we see regional banks not doing well. And say, like, who cares? I'm not going to trade regional banks. I'm looking for things that are strong or that can go up. That's all well and good. As we look at, under the hood, so to speak, to say, hey, is this a roaring bull market, or is this thing, on the fence? I should keep an eye on the exit sign here. And this is one of the pieces of information that says, under the hood, it's shaky. And so as we look at other things like that, like the bigger banks, we see a similar weakness, and that big nasty weekly reversal bar that's down at the bottom. Another not good sign for the markets. Others look okay, but it's erratic. You got a wide whippy trading range going on there. Not good, not terrible. Mid caps, you can see the head and shoulders top there. Has not violated any neckline. Hey, if the markets move up, maybe it could drag this up along with it. So the thing to do is, right, you can bring up your scanner, whatever that might be, and look at the mid cap stocks, sort it by relative strength, and see what might go up. So while maybe doesn't make sense to be trading this, you could look at mid cap stocks and say, hey, which are showing relative strength? And if mid caps are going up and markets are going up, that could be where your opportunity is. Semiconductors. Here's my doodling. Here's another head and shoulders top. Didn't violate the neckline. Kind of just hanging out here in the middle. Semiconductors are up a bit. Can't get in the room, Thomas. We can take a look later. I would suggest people are in the room, so it's not the room. Maybe restart your browser or something like that. Clear your cache. Make sure you're not expired. So the Intel CEO is going to the White House to talk to Trump. I guess Intel is up a little bit here. It's just a big mess. But this has been what's been driving technology and the cues. And so extended on the weekly time frame, ignoring the reversal again in the middle of nothing, right? So set an alert above the highs, set an alert below the lows. And we looked at this. Interest rates collapsed, a little grind up there. We've been talking forever about, the big range, the little range, back down to the bottom of the little range. And we'll see what they're going to do this week. Right? Not much of an influence there. And we'll get to SPX, which things are pretty tight. Volatility back down to the lows again. So it's going to be another, show me, right? Show me if you can go up a little more, or whether you're going to go down a little more. What trends are up? Some are now sideways. There's weakness under the hood. And, as always, be selective and follow the plan. So SPY, move that over there. You can see the erratic day-to-day price action and grinding higher toward that resistance area. And so it's right up into it, that where that nasty reversal is. We know there's going to be sellers there. So you see this strength. It may be, I have to see how things set up as intraday, whether it would be worthwhile considering any kind of shorts. But as far as the S&Ps go, you have to see some type of convincing breakdown. In any event, if this continues to move up, my bias is the catch-up trades, things that are near support or consolidating that could go up again. But again, after grinding up from major support up toward this resistance area, theoretically, the upside is limited today. And so SPX. So it's here. It's got room to go up there. So it's not like it can't go up to push up toward there. We just need to see some type of a pattern that would suggest that's going to happen. So trading range got room to go higher, strength going up, negating the red bar. Here's your strikes for today. About a 100-point difference, obviously closer here. And so it closed under 6,400. There's a large open interest in puts and calls at 6,400 expiring this week. So consolidating up here to get through it, it could make that run towards 65. I know that is up here, but it continues to show this strength in buying the dip. So we have to continue to think buy the dip and with an eye on, can it get through here above 6,400? It could try, and there are bets for 6,500. So there's still that bullish undertones, bets that it could go higher. And there's big bets at 6,300. So for the time being, this should be a floor. If we get some downside move, strikes under 6,300, if that is, we don't have that right now, but if we should get some kind of a down move, there's going to be significant support at 6,300 and you've got a consolidation here. So there's a thought. And if it runs up, up above these highs, after you get some kind of a reversal on the 5-minute, would consider call spreads. All yours, Dan.
Good morning. Let's see what trade ideas, but it's hard to be pushing the throttle on broader markets. But as always, we have great individual stocks we're watching. I just saw this thing coming by the ticker. It's BMR. That's I had it on my list over here for a long time and it broke down and I kind of stopped watching it. But look at the weekly as a potent reversal now, but it's capping up $6. Nothing to do with it now. Let's start with gappers like always. I mean, not gappers, but my alarms. AMC. We have coaching tomorrow, options coaching, and I've been putting together a ton of past trades and quizzes and so forth. And I threw this one in it too, because we put this in the weekend letter. Has earnings after the bell. And I said, this is a great setup to buy call options because they were cheap. We'd buy the $3 calls for 20 cents. But now look how crazy a move it is pre-market here. So that's totally destroying our trade. And Gap messed it up. Nothing we can do about it. Let me cancel it now. Because I gave it a limit of 20 cents. And if it were to retrace this whole gap now, I don't want it. DTE. This was just a bull rectangle utility stock. My up alarm went off, so that's maybe a 30-minute high. Oh, MSOS, we've been in this for a while, like on this breakout. Well, I gotta go check the date. I forget if it was this breakout or this one. But we're in a full lot. I said sell a third pre-market. This is our ETF letter. I said sell a third of whatever I posted way up here. And then stop Friday's low for now. Look at that tight 15-minute chart. Yeah, that's been going up on, optimism about marijuana. That was earnings pre-market, Rankin. The thing said post-market. That explains it. But I'm in Berman. Okay, so I would not have put it in the weekend letter, of course, because it's impossible to get on board. But if we bought those calls for 20 cents, let's just say on Friday, well, they were 19 cents on Friday, then it would have worked. That would have been a very profitable earnings trade had we done it. BMNR. I'd just go into trail mode. It's up 4 bars now with a big gap. I personally would be selling half, but the weekly suggests a nice turn. It looks like it could go to 70. Problem is, there's no entry here, and you want to manage your opens. Thomas on YouTube thing, eBay. It's a bull rectangle. When they're this far from the 20, though, you got a risk of a breakout failure. And it's also in the category of, I think you're going to need the broader markets to keep it going. But with that big old earnings gap and the fact that it's grinding higher is extremely bullish. I bid, Bitcoin, I think set a record pre-market or over the weekend or whatever. So a lot of these things are flying. Look at Ether. We missed this one. We did nail Bitcoin stocks on the same spot. But look at this move on Ether. Google, we have as a put spread idea. It looks like it's coming in here, so I'll reset my alarm. BAC, we have as a put spread idea. Okay, that was gapping up. Let me reset the alarm. Okay, this one we were doing just over the closing price. That's why the alarm went off. All right, so that one's still good to go if we get filled. I just posted the 45-44 put spread for Friday. That's a nice 180 potent turn. Tesla, we had a put spread, gapping up. So I'm not going to get filled unless we get pulled down. All right, those are the alarms. There's all kinds of news pre-market. NVIDIA, AMD said they're going to give the government 15% of sales. AMD looks like it could be a call spread idea, 30-minute low. It's getting toppy. Some lithium battery stocks are moving here. Battery companies, whatever. Maybe, whoa, wow, that's gapping up to the prior high. So there's no trade. There's no trade. Yeah, these stocks are moving black. That's gapping up 10%. No entry. SQM, no entry. Things are flying. These are earnings. So MSOS we talked about. So marijuana stocks. Tilray, 79. That's a big gap, even though it's a penny stock. Look where it's gapping. Wow, I remember buying this down here at like 42 cents. And I held it for 2 days. I got that little run out of it. Cron, No, no entry now. That's why we're selling half of our MSOS. Yeah, or Tawi, I just answered that. Ether, yeah, you definitely need a pullback. It's just, it's FOMO right now. CGC 147. I mean, it's up a lot, but not as extended as the others. I'll watch that one on a pullback. So NVIDIA, AMD, ROM, had some news. 885. It's bullish gap. Look, it's a Legion, bottom right. 30, well, I liked it before when it was gapping up to 38.20. I'll set an alarm back there, 38.20, but then it would be on a buy setup at the 50. Market's weakening here a little bit into the close, which I actually like because they don't make Monday mornings easier. And then AI, yeah, Greg answered it, but Greg, that it shocks me that it actually shocks me. That's a monster gap. And it's just because
Patrick said they reported earnings.
AI did?
I believe that's what I saw him post in the room.
No, whoa, I thought he was talking about AMC. But
Oh,
all right, let's go back to earnings here. We don't I
said
delete.
revenue missed by 33%.
Okay. All right, well that would explain it then earnings. All right.
Preliminary earnings.
Yeah, because the gold is way down. There's been this talk about tariffs on gold bullion, and they had a big move. We had a great move on KGC. We actually put this in the trade review that comes out every Wednesday. Look at this beautiful pattern. I mean, daily, weekly, monthly. I mean, people ask, how do you know a breakout won't fail? The answer is you don't. You just got to focus on the best setups. And this was one. After this red bar was ignored, then the breakout here, weekly, the sector, that was beautiful trade. All right, whiskey. Look at this. Recent IPO. It looks like WW International. Remember when this thing used to be? Um, this thing used to be Weight Watchers. I don't know what happened to Weight Watchers, but that's interesting. Legion alarm, bottom right. I'm surely not doing it here in the first 5 minutes, but this would be a great 30-minute high trade. Our Cal went against us. Yeah, I don't like that. Now the stop is higher up. I think I'm going to kill mine 5-minute high. We did a half lot on Thursday. LVS, Las Vegas Sands. Up alarm. I know that's a bull rectangle looking thing. Yeah, bull rectangle. There's nothing to do right now, but if it goes sideways and then after 10 a.m. takes out Friday's high, then I would like it. Because then we could also, get more information um, on what the broader markets feel like they're doing. SXT. Well, this is we're already in this one. We're in trail mode. Let's move stop 30-minute. I'm sorry, Friday slow now, 1:15:05. No, maybe we sell third right now because we have a full lot. Yeah, let's sell a third just because I like selling in the strength. Um, because then it's easy, to get filled because they want your merchandise. So 1,745. Right? When you try to sell something and nobody wants it, it's not as fun, is it? Then you're like chasing bids down and so forth. Murder. Diamonds IWM acting very similar on the 15-minute charts here today, showing relative strength. But the other horsemen weakening. Oh, SXT just if you delayed, you just got another almost dollar higher. It just popped again. Because my up alarm went off already at 118. Charter. Oh, there's charter. Yeah, it's not a potent turn yet on the daily. It is a nice bar on the 15, but not the daily. So could it be a 30-minute high if you get a 1, 2, 3? Possible, but I wouldn't swing it yet. This AI, man, this got killed. That is a big gap. Let's see how juicy the puts are. The pain is priced in. The 12.5 puts, which is the lowest. It's 14 cents naked. All right, look at Legion. See, do you see? Do y'all hear what I said this morning? But I don't buy, um, earning stocks in the first 5 minutes. Look at that, Exhibit A. My up alarm at 38:20 or whatever went off. So now I got no interest in this thing anymore. It's just a good little insurance policy to wait. The only exception is if I have a beautiful pre-market pattern. So Tesla, we're not going to get filled. So let's cancel that. Google did not trigger, so that one's fine if it does. Other than Tesla, all the things are pulling in a bit here. So let me cancel Tesla, no fill. B. All right, BAC was a go though. Let's see, the 4544. Yeah, so that got filled. BAC 46. Good has some hit. We actually had diamonds and IWM as call spreads, but they got to take out Thursday slow, which is pretty far away now. And so yeah, nothing going on in the weekly options letter. And WGS, that's a bull rectangle. I have this as a put spread over Thursday's high. That lit them, bearish gap. I'm going to cancel that. Don't like the gap, but I'll keep my alarm. Lift, we have puts, but on a bounce. A BST looks good. PSA. That gapped under the entry. Okay, I missed my alarm. All right, Greg, so how do you want to enter this? Selfie alarm. Selfie. Could be a put spread. And 30-minute high directional. Looks like it can bounce a day or two. You're so inclined, I'd rather a put spread. So the 2150s, 26 and make it, it's not enough. The Kerbal hasn't hit. They put PSA down here. We're actually light inventory. We're still short now. Stop. We only have a third left. Just let it play out. Quebec Sierra. Relative weakness, bouncing a little. RHI, we're in trail mode. Uh, 3482. Let that play out. Still weak though. Look, it bounced and didn't get very far. SXT we know about. Actually, let's move stop below now. Or how about 116.68? TMUS or long. Iron here. What's dragging it up? Semis. Semis are